Hi guys, welcome to Jadestone Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the collective to see what messages need to come through. For whoever comes across this video, there is a message here for you if you've been drawn to this. Spirit wanted you here. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope that you're doing well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, the information for that's in the description down below. And if you want to follow me over on my Instagram and TikTok, you can find me there at Jadestone Tarot. But yeah, let's get right into this reading and see what messages need to come through for the collective for the last little bit of August. Yeah. All right. But this is a timeless reading. So honestly, like whenever you come across this, even if this is like 5 months down the line, you're here for a reason. I'm gonna have faith that this reaches the right people. So anyways, messages for the collective for the next couple of weeks. What can the collective expect? What do they need to know? Any insight, wisdom, guidance for whoever's come across this video? Any messages for the collective? Any messages, please? We got the elk coming out. Messages for the collective. Wow. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it. We got the elk, we got the snake, we have the eagle, and the earthworm. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, this is really interesting energy. We have this elk energy, which is someone who's a leader, someone who has a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. They're very reliable. This person is someone who people can depend on. They're highly respected. This person is viewed by others in a way where like they always get the job done. They mean what they say. They're not just the type to talk a bunch of shit and never follow through with action, right? We all know those types of people who say a lot, but they never, ever, ever follow through, or they never actually mean what they say. That is not the elk. This is someone who means what they say. This is someone who is very determined, and I'm kind of picking up like there's this leader slash teacher energy and more of like a student energy, because then we go from this kind of leadership to the earthworm, which is like new, early bird gets the worm. That's what I heard. Which is funny because we have the eagle, right? Early bird gets the worm. I'm picking up on an energy, and it actually comes through with a snake. It's like some of you are finding a mentor, or some of you are becoming a mentor in some sort of way. Like some of you are taking on a leadership role where you're going to be helping others, where you're going to be teaching others. And some of you are going to be finding like a mentor or someone who can help guide you. So like either or maybe a little bit of both. Either way, depending on what group you might be in, because we're picking up on a lot of energy here, change is happening. Massive change, new cycles, new opportunities, new doors opening up for you. And yeah, it's kind of like clearing of the past. Eagle reminds me a little bit of the Judgment card in the tarot. It's like maybe there's a little bit of reveal of what you recently have gone through, how much have changed, certain lessons that have been cemented, like showing what you know. It's that final exam to prove that you're ready for the next level. And then we have the earthworm, which indicates new beginnings and high potential. And the snake is all about reaching your potential, expanding on what you've already built for yourself. So if this is like a personal goal, if this is about a relationship, if this is about your career, like I don't care what it is, it could be all of those things, but this is all about expansion. So the next few weeks for you are going to be a very expansive month where you can see things growing, and like there's evidence of your hard work paying off and it being able to become like tangible. You're actually starting to see this manifest in your reality. All right. And it's really required you to be patient. It's really required you to stay committed, to stay dedicated, but it's working in your favor. I am getting the energy here with the snake that some of you still haven't fully let go of some things from your past. Maybe that's why the eagles come out. It's like there's certain cycles here, or certain habits or lessons, like certain things maybe in your life, people, connections that maybe you got to remove yourself or distance yourself from, or certain things in your physical environment that you have to shed, right? With the snake, shedding skins. In order for this new energy to come in, or in order for you to step into this new life, right? This new life, which I don't know why I'm doing this like new life, because it's like you might be feeling like, oh, what do you mean new life? My life hasn't changed. It's the same old shit. But it's like, I mean, if you like where you're at, that's awesome. But if you are wanting that new life, well, you're gonna have to make some changes, point blank. You can't expect a different outcome doing the same old shit. I mean, hey, you guys notice my setup has changed? Because I was like, I need to fucking change. Like, had it for over 2 years or heading into 2 years. And I was like, fuck it. It's the 3rd year of this channel. It's time to kind of refresh things, change up the energy. And yeah, so even that resonates with me. It's like, yeah, it's time for a fucking change. Even like switching some furniture around or throwing some things out in your wardrobe, your closet, on your phone, just clear some space up, right? It can be something as small as that, something really just small, like organizing files and like just getting rid of some shit. It can be something more drastic, like you're cutting off that toxic relationship. You're leaving that work environment that's very draining, that's underpaying you, that you're not being respected. You know, it depends on your situation. Everybody's different. It can be something really small that's being removed, or it can be something huge that's being removed or changed in some sort of way. Either way, though, any kind of changes that you make around this time, it creates a shift in your reality. It's really opening up things for you. It's really opening up new doors, new opportunities. And yeah, like I am picking up here with the eagle. This does talk about like divine intervention, orchestration, as well as like the universe really has their eye on you right now. So just know that everything has a plan. Everything is working out in the long term. Even if you don't really fully understand why certain things are happening or why certain things aren't really going the way that you had expected, it's all leading up to something bigger. And if you can try to keep an open mind, an open perspective, that's going to be really good, right? It's always when you are more closed off, more resistant to the change, is when it's more painful, more awkward, more uncomfortable. So if you can try to be flexible with these changes and just go with it, then I feel like you can really make the best out of these situations that are coming your way and fly forward with colors, or whatever the fuck. What is that saying? Flying with colors? Passing with flying colors? Whatever. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, like the snake and the earthworm, very similar energies. Something about cycles is being highlighted here. New cycles and old cycles. Old cycles are fading out, where you're becoming aware of where there's been like, I want to say plot holes. What? Plot holes? Like unfinished business or things that you haven't fully completed. If there's like a situation from your past that you haven't gotten clarity on, either you're going to be getting answers on that, or you're going to be able to just like close that door and move forwards instead of constantly wondering and looking back and looking back and looking back. It's like you got to keep moving forwards. And I see like you're becoming aware of some sort of cycle, or you're jumping off like the hamster wheel. You're jumping off the hamster wheel and you're being pushed in a new direction. And this new direction that you're heading into, we have the sun showing up in the eagle and the elk in both these cards. Right here, right? There's the sun and then there's the sun. So it seems like you're headed towards a really positive time. Really, really positive. And it's just, I think you just got to think big. Think grand. Think bigger. Even if you're happy and satisfied with where you're at right now, there's always room for more. There's always room for growth. Just keep expanding and be open. And yeah, I feel like even your perspective on situations are changing, where you're able to see things differently that you didn't quite understand or didn't quite see in the same light as you are starting to now, or your awareness is shifting. And that's actually interesting because at the bottom of the deck, we have the peacock. Oh, wow. And the whale. I can't even speak, or no, I can't even think. I had a brain fart. I was like, what is this? It's the whale. And even the cobra, tying into lessons being learned, and also like the whole teacher-student energy. Like I said, some of you are becoming or stepping into the role of taking on leadership or training others, or like guiding people in some sort of way, whether this is relating to your career. Like some of you may actually be like a teacher, or you've been thinking about like going into education, just throwing it out there, or like an instructor of some sort. The snake does mention an instructor. Specifically in the book, it does talk about some of you could be meeting like a yoga instructor. Like that's very specific, but it literally says that in the book. So I just want to pass on that message. And then some of you are like taking new classes, or, you know, going back to school. I know some people are starting around around September. You might be going back to school or studying something new, or, you know, higher level of education, researching, learning more, maybe starting a new job, things like that. But again, there's lots of opportunities for learning and growing, and even just like evaluating where you're at, what you're satisfied with, what you need to change or make adjustments in. And with the peacock and the whale, it's like, this is some deep reflection. This is deep reflection about looking at where you're at and what's not working, what is, and moving forwards. In what ways do you wish to expand, and which ways, same shit, which ways do you want to expand on your empire, you know, that you're creating, that you're building. It's really powerful. Yeah, you're really tapping into your wisdom, your strength, trusting your intuition for sure. And despite what other people may think, you are really following your own path. So again, really stepping into like a leadership energy instead of being like a follower and just doing what everybody else is doing, you know, following society or what society thinks you should be doing. Oh, at this age, you better have this kind of job, this kind of house, married with this many kids. Like, fuck the rules, fuck the system, you know, like, oh my God, you're like, I'm gonna stay true to me and I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. So you're really stepping into your authenticity, and it shows, I love it. It's really awesome. I'm going to pull you guys a couple fairy cards to go along with this, and then we'll pull some tarot messages. All right. So messages for the collective regarding the next couple of weeks, whenever they come across this. Messages for the collective. Show me clearly. What does the collective need to know at this moment? Show me clearly. Messages for the collective for the next couple of weeks. What's going on for the collective? Whoever's come across this video, what do they need to know for the next couple of weeks or be aware of? Insight, wisdom, and guidance. Andi. All right, so you do have some choices to make. There could be some indecision. I'm picking up on a group of you where you have a choice to make and you're going back and forth. You're having a hard time making up in your mind. We also have unity. Bit of a different energy with that, different storyline with that, and Jehubia. Oh, interesting. Maiden at the bottom, and Arvolarit, which is communication. Oh, some of you are really needing, and Ecstasis underneath that, which is one of the happiest cards in the fairy deck. So one of the main messages, let me talk about this first of all. Let me talk about these cards. So we have number 2, 50, and 14. So Ecstasis, Arvolarit, and the Maiden. I want to touch on this first real quick. The way that you communicate to yourself, the way that you speak to yourself is so important. Some of you struggle with self-talk. Some of you are really hard on yourselves. Some of you really struggle with, you know, your own internal thoughts and language that you use. Some of you struggle with that maybe because of surrounding environments and the things people say to you. So that is something that needs to shift. I'm kind of picking up on an energy where you're learning to communicate to yourself, like almost like you're healing your inner child in a way, like doing a lot of that shadow work, a lot of that internal healing and forgiveness and releasing. And, you know, maybe that's a whole part of this learning, and some of you seeking out like a mentor. Maybe like some of you are getting therapy or like in some kind of help group or something, like a community in some sort of way where you're able to have these discussions. Definitely communication being highlighted, especially with Mars moving into Gemini on Saturday, which I'm probably uploading this video on Saturday. So on Saturday, what's the date today? Saturday the 20th of August is when Mars moves into Gemini, and Gemini ruled by Mercury, communication, right? Just, you know, first thing that comes to mind, communication, right? And so Arvolarit, which is ruling our speech and how we communicate to others. So I really feel like this might be the energy that plays out for the next 7 months. That's how long Mars will be in Gemini for. March 2023. So it's a long transit. And one of the reasons why it's a long transit is because it's retrograding in Gemini. So that's like down the line. That's like a few months from now. Doesn't matter, y'all. It's good. This is like a long transit. I feel like this kind of message is tying in for really the next 7 months. It's like unlearning those patterns, right? We go back to the snake and the earthworm of like the cycles and the patterns that you may really struggle with, internal struggles, as well as even in your relationships, communication issues, and learning to be more understanding and be more patient and compassionate towards yourself and others, and having like honest conversations so that everybody can come out a winner here. Everybody can come out really happy and feeling like they're heard and feeling like they're understood, instead of constantly, you know, butting heads and being at odds. It's like, even if you have disagreements, it's like, you know what, let's just agree to disagree, because we don't have the time, we don't have the energy to just be constantly fighting and going around in circles and getting nowhere and just causing each other to hurt and cause pain. Like, we don't have time for that shit. So you're really, I'm picking up on the vibe here, is like you're really becoming aware of where you're putting your focus, your energy towards, your efforts, your time, your money. Like, you know, time is money. That's the saying. Time is money. So you're like, if this not paying, if it's not making my pockets fat, and then I gotta go. I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely really important conversations that are going to be happening, that are going to bring a lot of fulfillment, a lot of enjoyment. Lots of good times are also coming in. Like even just like sharing memories, and even with the maiden, it's like bringing up like childhood stuff, or like a little bit of reminiscing. This is another message with the maiden. Oh my god, you guys, I don't even know if I'll have time for the tarot. But the maiden is the energy of really needing to nurture yourself, really needing to up the self-care, take better care of yourself, what you're eating, what you're exercising, what you're watching, who you're surrounding yourself with, all forms. I don't need to tell you what to do. I'm not your parent, but this is the energy of like, you really need to take care of yourself, as if you gotta nurture your inner child too. Validating your own emotions instead of beating yourself up and like, oh my god, why do I feel this way? It's so stupid. Oh my god, get over it. It's like, no, like, feel it, acknowledge it, sit with it, be patient with yourself. That's something that's being worked on. So the main cards that came out, right? We go back to Andi. So a choice, going back and forth. Some of you have a decision coming up, a choice coming up, and you're a bit fearful, or one of the reasons why you haven't made up your mind is because you're really in your head, you're really afraid of what could happen, the possibilities, and not having that certainty of knowing what to expect. It's not being 100%. Like, you're thinking about, okay, well, if I go left, then this. If I go straight, this. If I go right, it goes like, you know, you're overthinking a decision here. Some of you, I'm picking up a group where you're overthinking a decision here. And I think you really got to release control. Release control. Let go and let it flow. We have unity coming out, indicating connection to all. This talks about like even just the divine connection to everything that's energy. Fucking everything on earth. Everything in this entire galaxy is energy, right? And realizing like the only thing you can really control is yourself, and some things are just not worth stressing about. All right, you know what? We will pull some tarot messages. I just need to kind of push past these cards. It's like, okay, let's move on. Because we got other stuff we got to talk about. I feel it's important here to pull some tarot for you guys. So let's see if there's any other specifics that Spirit wants to touch on for this group. Messages for the collective based off... What are we saying? What am I saying? I don't even know. For the next couple of weeks. What messages does the collective need to know? Show me clearly. Messages for the collective. For whoever comes across this. Whoa! Okay, the Tower. What did I say? You're in need to make some adjustments. You're in need to make some changes. I think you're aware of that. You might be making a plan. Or some of you are like making a list of the things that you can do, or the things that you need to work on, or improve or get done. Eight of Cups. Yeah, some of you are walking away or leaving situations behind, and it requires a lot of strength. We have the Chariot, Page of Wands, Death, and the Five of Wands reversed. So yeah, I'm really picking up that you need to let go and stop resisting the changes that are happening around you, within you, outside of you. Like, there are changes taking place. There are things that are coming to an end in your life. Good things as well as bad things. There's happy endings. There's also some bittersweet endings or more dramatic, heavier endings, right? You got to have a balance. You can't have one without the other. But with the Five of Wands reverse, I feel like this is not resisting the changes. This is just like accepting it and allowing it to happen instead of trying to like fight against it and trying to go against the current and like, no, we are trying to fight the change. We're fighting the change. We don't want change. It's like, no, you're embracing change. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. This is happening for a reason. I'm not going to resist these changes. I'm not going to resist this. I'm just going to have faith that it's all going to work out. And it is. And it is. And I think you have a really positive attitude about it. Yeah, there might be times where you feel a little bit more, not in the best of moods. But for the most part, you have a pretty positive outlook about knowing that at the end of the day, you know where you're headed is towards like the best possible outcome. You're headed towards what is in... what's the word? I just lost it. Or not the word. I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Like your highest purpose. You're trusting that whatever isn't working for you, whatever isn't serving a purpose, you have faith that, okay, if this relationship isn't working out, then I trust that it's happening for a reason. I trust that it's going to make sense down the line and I'm going to be at the top. Like, there's a reason why this is happening. Although, again, hard to see it up close. I don't know why I knocked my table, but if you take a step back or many steps back, you're able to see it much differently. Kind of like if you were to look at a piece of art, or in this case here, I'll just show you this card up close, right? Up close, it's like, I can't tell what's going on. Like, what's happening? I don't understand. And then you zoom out and you're like, oh, okay. I see the bigger picture now. Like, you get me? So it's like, yeah, you look at a piece of art up close, you're like, I don't get it. Like, what is this? What is this art? And then you look back and like you take a few steps back and like, oh my god, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's like, yeah, currently a masterpiece is being created, aka your life, a masterpiece. Lots of moving pieces of the puzzle are shifting, and you gotta just have faith and have trust that it's all gonna work out for you in the end. Okay, we have Cancerian energy, Scorpio energy coming out twice. We have Leo energy, by the way. Just letting you know the zodiac signs. But yeah, Tower, adjustments are needed. Adjustments are needed. And I just want to point out, in this deck specifically, this Tower is not unexpected. This is some sort of change that you've been aware of, that you've been knowing, like, okay, I probably should work on this, or this is kind of starting to shift. It's gradual. This is not dramatic. In this deck, it is like slow change, especially because it's underwater, right? Things underwater move much slower. You can't really injure yourself in water. You can't really you can't really fall. You just kind of sink, It's like a slow sink. You're not like just you fall and you slip and you hit your ass and it hurts, right? You ever fall on ice? Yeah, not fun. But like in water, unless you like belly flop, which yeah, that's painful, but that's like the initial slap of the water. But you get the point, right? You get the point. It's like this change is gradual. It's actually a lot softer. I like this Tower in this deck. It's a lot softer of a change, and it gives you time to prepare. There's signs around you. There are warnings, depending on circumstances. There might be warnings that are making you be aware, like, okay, this thing is probably not gonna last, or this relationship probably not gonna be the best for me, or you're becoming aware and you're not resisting. If anything, you're going with it, you're trusting with it, and you're trusting your intuition as well here. Eight of Cups with the moon in the card. Trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. And some of you are walking away from, like I said, some of you are walking away from certain relationships, environments, mindsets, like walking away from things that aren't good for you. And although it may be hard, it's what's necessary. It's what's best. And we have strength out here, requiring a lot of that strength, that willpower, to walk away from things that aren't good for you. Even if it's like, for example, a relationship, you got a lot of love for them, but it's not good for you. It's very draining, it's very toxic, and it can't be fixed, and it requires a lot of strength for you to walk away, but deep down you know that's what you have to do. I know it's a bridge you have to cross, right? You will cross the bridge, but it does require a lot of strength. That's like a specific situation. That's just an example. But it's like things that you've been planning for, things like you'll have time to make these adjustments. You'll have time to plan for this, to prepare for the changes. It's not just something that's going to happen overnight. I feel like this is like a gradual kind of shift that's taking place, and you're not resisting it. You're going with it. You're trusting it. You surrender, and you're like, just bring me to what's going to be the best. And if that means I gotta let some things go on the way, well, then that's what I gotta do. So yeah, I really feel like you guys are just going with it, trusting the flow, and that's awesome. So that's what you needed to know, apparently. So yeah, we're gonna leave the reading here. I hope that this was insightful and helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to book a private reading with me, the information for that's in the description down below. And if you want to follow me over on my Instagram and TikTok, you can find me there at Jadestone Tarot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Take care.